we're back here with Geordie, Summer Water Sports down on Lake Rosso, one of our legend partners, as we previously mentioned. Geordie, take me back in time. When did you first start getting interested in water sport activities? What was the first things you were doing while you were out on the water as a youngster?
Well, I learned to water ski at my family cottage on Lake Rosso. I think my parents were trying to drown me at first. That's my first experience or memory of water skiing. Very little instruction behind a little 9.9 tin boat that we had. And now, you know, I've progressed up and skiing behind anything and everything. But, you know, my life is focused on being on the water and making memories with my family now. And it's a huge part of my life and the huge reason why I'm, you know, doing what I'm doing.
Maybe I'm starting off new. I'm walking into summer water sports. I love to fish. I love to cruise. I want to do all those things, but I also want to, you know, get my family out in the water, skiing, tubing. What kind of setups am I looking at? How do we go about determining the right boat for those applications?
Well, it's really hard finding that right boat because there isn't that cookie cutter boat that does everything for everybody. So I usually would sit down with somebody and get them to prioritize what their goals are. Is it tubing? Is it fishing? Is it skiing? Is it cruising? Whatever those things are. And then we can sit there and look and find the right boat for them, because there's going to be some boats that are going to do things better than others, and you're going to have to make some compromises on the way because there's not one boat that can do all of it.
Yeah, that's a great point, you know, and taking it a step further, obviously, you know, how many people are going to be in the boat? We need, you know, some capacity requirements, size of water, you know, how much stability do we need while we're out there?
Yeah.
All of these start to come into fruition as well. So really sitting down and letting your, you know, your legend partner, your legend salesperson and memory maker, as we call them around here, you know, take a deeper dive with you onto how you plan to use the boat. And I love breaking it down into percentages. Are we talking about something that you're going to be doing, you know, faithfully every weekend? Or is this, you know, a dream that we're thinking of for that one weekend a year when, you know, we've got a couple extra family members up at the cottage and we want to pull a tube around? So,
but those are the memories, and those are the things that you also have to take into account, right? And being able to have that capacity to be able to do that. And maybe you don't know that your boat is capable of doing some of the things that it can do, right? So finding that balance is really important.
It's a bit hard to paint that exact picture perfect boat, but we're confident you know, with today's technology, that we can get the right boat that'll pretty much do anything based on how you want to do it. Now we've got the boat, we've got the right motor. You know, what age group should we start trying the skiing? How do I go about getting my child interested in water sports?
Yeah, so I always want to start with water skiing. It's easier than learning how to wakeboard or anything like that. You know, maybe tubing or kneeboarding or something like that also is an option just to get your feet wet in the sport. 5, 6 is kind of a good age group to start. They don't have the fear yet of what's going on, but yet they have the confidence and the ability to be able to do it. They have to be comfortable in the water, right? They have to be able to play in the water and you know, potentially be alone in the water with a life jacket on for a minute or so. So you want to make sure that they're comfortable, and you want to make sure it's a memorable experience. And, you know, and really anybody can water ski. Water skiing is a lazy man sport. The boat does all the work. You're just there for the ride.
Nice. So I've got my child. They're comfortable. They want to get in the water. They're screaming, "Daddy, I saw somebody ski. You know, I got to try that." We've picked up the new skis. What am I looking for? Is there certain types of, you know, some of the beginner skis? I've seen the ones that, you know, can tie at the middle. What do I need to get my child on?
Yeah, for kids, we call them like combo skis or trainer skis. They're great because they're a progression ski that can take you through the different steps before you're skiing all on your own with your own rope. So a trainer ski like that would be perfect. When you're learning to water ski, you want to keep a couple things in mind. You want to keep your knees bent, your arms straight, head up, freeze, and smile.
Sure.
Simple steps to guarantee success.
Okay. And we've found a lot of success. You know, Mercury makes some great engine and propulsion technologies. Obviously, at Legend Boats here, we're exclusive with Mercury powering our vessels. And where we found success is their command thrust bottom ends. So we're finding, you know, in that 60 to 90 horsepower range, and obviously the bigger engines and above that'll have those command thrust bottom ends really help to get the skier out of the water quicker, give you a little bit more torque, a little bit more pull, and pop you up in the water versus some of the traditional outboards that we've seen out there. So we're seeing people ski on a wide variety of outboard horsepower. Yeah,
for sure. And really, you know, as long as the boat can get up on the plane, you can water ski behind it. So if that is a 9.9 for a child or a 115 for an adult, you can get up behind pretty much anything.
Sure. And we've seen and we've talked a lot about our standard boats that are including ski pylons, our X series. You guys have found some success with those down
Yeah.
there, being a very family fishing oriented boat. They are standard with the big ski pylon. A lot of our pontoon sport packages will give you the big ski wakeboard bar, and many of our other series give you the ability to add that ski pylon. Do I need it? Is it important? Does it help?
Yeah, I think it's a great option to have, especially for a beginner or for water skiing. One, two, it's going to keep the rope up out of the propeller a little bit more, which can wreck your day or weekend, which is not fun for the driver. Also, two, it helps pull you up out of the water a little bit quicker than having it mounted right on the back of the D-ring on a traditional boat like that. So
Perfect.
there are some definite benefits of having a ski pylon. Again, using it correctly is also important.
Any tips for those new boaters out there? It could be a little intimidating throwing my child out behind the boat and determining how fast am I going to throttle down out there to make sure that everybody's safe and that mom or dad aren't freaking out inside the boat. How do I know? How do I get that feel? How do I get that torque?
Just nice and easy, right?
Okay.
You don't want to rip their arms out, but again, it's going to depend on the boat, right? And the application. How big is the child or person behind the boat?
How strong are they?
How strong are they? How are they a beginner? Are they advanced? Are they on a slalom ski? Are they on two skis? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of factors that goes into play, but you want a nice, gentle acceleration. You don't want to rip their arms out.
Talk to me about some of the best practices around operating outboards safely. I want to dispel or talk about some of the myths out there where people are certainly concerned at the idea of an outboard with a prop under the water versus some other traditional boat propulsion technologies that are out there. How do we safely make sure we're using an outboard?
Yeah, most boats have propellers, right? It's just where they are on the boat. And yes, it can be intimidating, but the safest thing to do is just shut the boat off. Mm-hmm. Ensure that motor is not running anytime there's someone getting in and out of your boat or close to the back of the boat, right? Even though you might think that the boat's in neutral, now with the quiet, Mercury Marine motors, it's very quiet. You might not hear that boat engaging into gear, so just turn it off. If somebody falls in the water or something like that, it's best to loop around on the driver's side so you can keep that person in your view at all times to ensure that they're a safe distance away from the boat. It's no different than any other boat.
Maybe let's talk about some of the other safety requirements or things that we need while we're out on the water to make sure that we're having a fun and safe day. Is there a typical requirement? How many people you need in the boat? I know obviously spotter is something required. Should we have more than just one spotter? Maybe talk me through that.
Sometimes having more people in the boat can be distracting for the boat driver because they're not only focusing on 360-degree awareness, but they have to make sure they're focusing on the person on the back and do they have the right speed and stuff like that. So especially if you're a novice, boat driver or something that you might not want to overload the boat with all your family and friends because you'll have a lot of backseat, drivers telling you slow down, speed up, you're not doing it right, and it's just going to frustrate you. But you always have to have a spotter, and you also always have to have a seat for the person behind the boat. So if your boat's rated for 6 people, you can't have any more than 5 people in the boat if you have someone behind the boat.
Okay, perfect. And obviously everybody's got to have a life jacket. Is there certain types of life jackets that we need that are better for water sports? Obviously I've seen the cool, thin ones, neoprene ones, pro surf guy looking ones. What do I need to get out there safely?
Well, you need a approved life jacket, right, to be wearing, and you want something that's comfortable and fits properly. Otherwise, it's not going to be enjoyable in the water. We've all seen the videos and the pictures of kids bobbing around with the life jacket over their head. So make sure you have a proper fitting life jacket and make sure that you have a life jacket in the boat for the people as well.
Perfect. Pontoons. Obviously, you're seeing them on your lakes popping up all over the place now. Any limitations? Are we being able to do water sports as much as we want on a pontoon?
For sure. You can do whatever you want behind a pontoon.
Yeah.
The opportunities are endless right now. It just has to have a realistic expectation of what you're looking to do behind that boat. You don't need all of those accessories on your boat. You can do it on a basic boat.
So we jump into a little bit of tubing now.
Tubing, yeah.
Tubing, we talked about it. We want to make sure we're using maybe a harness. We're tubing off some of the lower points of the boat. Any operating tips or tricks? I'm sure growing up on Rosso, it was all about how can dad scare us or get us off this tube.
Yeah, I had this Uncle Chop, and he was a maniac, right? We all had that uncle, right, that just drove like crazy.
For
but
sure.
you know, you want to go safe and easy, and make sure that everybody has an enjoyable time. You don't want to overload the tubes or something like that because they can break. So you know, if the tube's only rated for 2 people, only put 2 people in it. You know, make sure you have a heavier duty rope versus your tube. I always say go up 1 or 2 people per rope. That just helps with you know, stability and longevity of the rope.
What else do we want to know about keeping our family excited and safe about water sports out on the water?
Well, there's lots of different water sports to do. So maybe if they're not into tubing, they might be into kneeboarding. If they're not into kneeboarding, they might be into wakeboarding. So there's lots of different activities. So open it up, let them try new and different things. And the sport's always evolving. Every year there's a new activity. You know, wake surfing has kind of been the new takeoff thing lately. You know, but now hydrofoil boards are coming into play. So there's always something new and exciting coming down the road, and that keeps people engaged in water sports, you know, for a lifetime.
I want to thank Geordie for not only being a legend partner of ours, but obviously with his experience in the water sports world. The only thing I could think of that would make this better would be we can't wait to get him out on the water in some legends this summer, and we'll try to look to keep this series going where he can show us some of this stuff in person, and we'll put his ski talk to the test in the future here. So thanks for checking this out, and I hope you found some of these tips useful.
And we'll ski you later.
There you go.